Welcome to the Awakened Human Podcast, the place to be for highly progressive yet extremely grounded intuitive guidance, energetic support, metaphysical tools, and higher consciousness for highly successful, ambitious, soul-centered visionaries and leaders like you who want to make a global impact and achieve your highest fulfillment by aligning with your soul's true divine agenda and your role in God's plan of lighted creation, and by utilizing your divine gifts, talents, and abilities from the higher realms. We do this by working with the non-physical realms of higher guidance, energy, intuition, and powerful metaphysical tools for healing and transformation. We understand that the real change and transformation that's being called for on planet Earth and in our own lives and our own businesses doesn't come from outside of us, but rather from within. And that the change that we desire to experience in our lives and in our world requires us to change from the inside. I'm your host, Ann Spagna. I'm a best-selling author, spiritual catalyst, intuitive, energy worker, ascension guide, multidimensional channel, animal communicator, visionary, lightworker, and luminary. I have dedicated my entire professional life to helping thousands and thousands of humans and animals all over the world in service and contribution to the light, which is the expansion, the upliftment, the evolution of humanity, to awaken, to uplift, and to align with our true divine source, which exists within each and every one of us. It is my passion, joy, and purpose to share this information, energy, and consciousness with you. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing time with me. Let's get started. Well, hello, all of you beautiful, magnificent beings out there. How are you all? Hello. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me today for another episode of the Awakened, Elevated Human. It's so great to be with you. I am doing a little bit of an impromptu recording here because I want to talk today about something that has been coming up so much lately. And I think all of you entrepreneurs, solopreneurs out there will really benefit from this. Heart-centered, mission-driven solopreneurs like you are usually looking for something new, always looking to make your programs and your offerings and your services better when you're doing that. So today we're going to talk about something that to me is, I think, the only way, and that is bringing the woo into your business, or let's say this, coming out of the spiritual closet. And let's also refer to it as allowing more of the divine to work through you and your business. And even if you don't have a business, you might be somebody who works in some kind of business and is still maybe hiding in the spiritual closet. Maybe not allowing the fullness of who you are to come through. So let me explain what I mean by this, if I could, and share a little bit more. Over the past few weeks, I have been repeatedly running into people in the entrepreneurial space who want to bring in more spiritual type of teachings and offerings, or maybe they want to share more about their own spiritual journey in their business or in their work or with other people. And yet some part of them is very hesitant and is somewhat not sure how to do it. And even I've had clients and students, like amazing clients and students in the past, who have said they don't tell anybody in their workplace about the retreats they come on with me or the spiritual stuff that they're into, the spiritual or the woo-woo stuff they're into. And I always joke and I'll say to them, oh, you're in the spiritual closet. You're hiding out in the closet, right? Because in a way they're worried, right? They're worried or concerned And they might not even be fully conscious of this, but they're worried or concerned that their business colleagues or their business clients will somehow judge them or somehow get alienated or feel in a different way about them. And that concern, because of that, then they don't share publicly or in their professional space anything about, like, whether they're on a retreat with me, whether they're into healing energy, whether they're into listening to channeling or following guidance from their angelic team or tuning into their higher self or whatever it is, right? And always what's underneath there is it's the energy of fear, regardless of how you're hanging out in the spiritual closet, right? Regardless of why maybe you're not sharing it, it is because of preconditioned beliefs and belief systems, unconscious programming that is somehow linked to fear, right? Fear that you'll be judged, fear that it'll upset the apple cart, fear that someone will reject you, fear that your clients or your students won't like what you're saying, fear that you'll alienate someone, fear that you'll say something wrong, fear that it won't come out the right way, worry that someone's going to misinterpret what you say, worry that you won't get it right, whatever it is, right? That unconscious or semi-conscious fear, because that's what it is, fear or worry, is standing in the way between you and bringing forward something more magnificent. Now, let me get clear with what's more magnificent, because I get it. Like, nobody, unless you're some kind of evangelical circle, you don't want to sound like a preacher, and you're not trying to become like someone who's out there preaching spiritual stuff. And we all, especially if you kind of grown up in the United States, which so many of my community has, there's this concept of separation of church and state, which is the concept of division of religious freedom versus right to exist, right to be, right to work, right to this idea of separation. But what's happening on the earth right now is this unification process. And in the new paradigm, separation, this concept of separation really changes, because unification, which means you're unifying more with the truth of who you are, which means you're becoming more and more authentic and more aligned with your source, right? Which your source is how you uniquely define your intimate relationship with the divine. Well, as you do that, as you unify, and as you become more authentic and more sovereign in the sense that you are now being a free thinker, sovereign in the sense that you are no longer allowing someone else's dictatorship, if it's their opinions or their judgments or anything, to have dominion over you, their rules, their laws, etc., then it becomes close to impossible at some point to completely omit your connection with the divine. So in other words, I completely understand. None of us really wants to turn into a preacher. We're not like evangelical people trying to recruit anyone, and we're not trying to push our opinions on someone else. But at the same time, as we become more and more autonomous, as we become more and more unified with our source, we become more and more authentic to who we are, more and more unified with love, with the virtues that we're all choosing to develop and cultivate that help us to fall in love with ourselves, with our lives, and with our service and contribution in the world, which means and includes our clients, our students, our colleagues. Then in that journey of unification, of becoming more at one with the divine that is within us, it is more and more difficult not to include some form of the expression of the divine and how it manifests and materializes through us in our work. Now, I hope this is making sense, but I want to take this a step further. And I want to link this into the concept of what is commonly referred to as ascension on planet Earth, but really ascension even in your business where you're growing and evolving. And also even ascension in terms of your own evolution, but globally ascension, the evolution of humanity from an old paradigm, an old way of operating into a new paradigm, a new way of being and operating. The new paradigm includes, and a huge part of it is that the divine, the infinite, God, source, creator, the all that is, the omniscient, the intelligent consciousness that is infinitely omnipresent, omni-aware. However, like I'm trying to describe it in as many ways as I can, right? But God, right? We use the word God here to define that. But the infinite, the all that is, Mother, Father, the Spirit, Holy Christ, whatever, however you define it, right? That infinite source is birthing through a new paradigm. And the way it's birthing it through is through us, through each and every one of us. And the way that happens is that as we heal and resolve the wounding patterns that we've had, the traumas, the false beliefs, the belief systems that are based in some form of limitation, the perspectives that are not aligned with truth, the energies in our field that are indicating that they are not for our highest good, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. As we are clearing, healing, and resolving them, we are making space through our free will choice for the infinite, the divine God, to be birthed in and through us more and more. Now, many people don't realize that's what we're doing, but that is what we are doing on Earth. That is happening. So even my business mentor, who I hired, she's been in business, leading business for many, many years. And only in the last year, she talks about how she finally started launching and adding in a separate business program that includes her unique connection with her religious orientation of spirituality. And she's bringing that into the workplace. Now, that is a perfect example. And when she talks about it, she talks about how it was really hard for her and she was worried, but she just felt called to and drawn to, and she wanted to bring in more of her spiritual beliefs into the business world and to help her audience and her students, her clients. And I get it. That's because she's being affected. This is happening globally. So more and more people who are choosing the new paradigm, expanding, up-leveling, and aligning into this new paradigm, which we could call 5D, fifth dimension. That's a lot of people call it that. I've called it that. That's just another terminology. But it is a new way of operating. There is a whole new energy in this paradigm. And in order to be in it, it means part of you is going to allow the divine to birth through you something new, brand new, something better. Better because, yes, in this case, better because you're not going to be separate from your source. You're not going to be separate from your authenticity. You're not going to be separate from the best version of you. You're not going to be separate from the best, most benevolent, best aspects of what you're here to bring forward. You're not going to be separate from the most fabulous, fantastic, magnificent virtues that truly make you fall in love with yourself and your life and your business and your clients. You're going to be unified with them, at one with them. And so this is why I say it is almost impossible not to bring forward some part of the divinity that you are, because that is the authentic expression of you. That is the authentic version of you. More and more authenticity in your life means that you are more and more fully aligning with the truth of who you are. And the truth of who you are is that you are an expression of the divine in form. There's lots of ways to say that. You are consciousness. You are consciousness in a body. God is consciousness, infinite, intelligent consciousness. Jesus was the expression, the embodiment of that. So was Buddha. So was Krishna. So was Allah. Beings who recognized themselves through their unique path and journey and became so fully unified with their source that through that unification, they could be nothing else than the complete knowing and embodiment of that divinity, of that source. So coming out of the spiritual closet then, I'm laughing because it's so joyful, right? It's funny, it's beautiful, it's magnificent. It's you becoming the expression, the unique expression of the divine that you're here to bring through. And here's why this is so amazing and helpful, I think, for business owners and entrepreneurs, because when you start allowing that, to come through, you're creating more safety for your students and your clients. Yeah, okay. There will be some that will be triggered and bothered and upset by it. Of course. But there will be a lot more who are drawn to you. They'll be drawn to you because they'll start recognizing the authenticity in your expression. They'll start recognizing the truth of who you are, and they'll respect, honor, and appreciate that. They'll be drawn to you. The ones who get triggered, that's okay, right? That's just part of being in business. You're not everybody's cup of tea, right? You're not ever going to be everybody's cup of tea. I often teach this in my classes, right? And you can be your favorite flavor of ice cream. And not everybody's going to like that favorite flavor. They're going to like a different flavor. And if you're not their favorite flavor, that's okay. Your clients, your community, they're only interested in the flavor that you're offering anyhow, or they're interested in your flavor. So be your flavor. Your authentic self is the best version of you. And the part of you that is being authentic is free and liberated from the fears, the worries, the doubts that someone else is going to judge you or get upset, that the apple cart will get upset because you're being more authentic and sharing your particular unique journey about how you started incorporating more spirituality, your flavor of spirituality, or your unique take on what it means to be spiritual, or whatever it is, whether it's maybe incorporating more meditation into your practice and what you share and teach, or maybe it's incorporating some kind of new healing into your practice and what you teach. So your people, your audience, they're going to like it. And you being that is free and liberated from the fear, the worry, the doubt that they'll be upset by it, or that they're going to judge you, or that they're going to find wrongness in you, or that they're going to somehow no longer hire you, or that they're going to somehow report you to some authority for having spiritual practice, right? If maybe they're your boss or something, I don't know, right? So let me take this a step further. Coming out of the spiritual closet and allowing more of the authentic part of you that has traversed a spiritual path to some degree or another, letting that be known more to your audience, to your community, is going to create more safety for them, more trust in you, and more recognition of you being authentic and real. But even if, let's just say for a moment, that you decide you don't want to do that, it still behooves you as a person who is stepping into your magnificence, becoming the best version of yourself, becoming more and more authentic, developing and cultivating your divine virtues, really being the brilliance that you are, that you came here to bring through. It still behooves you to free and liberate yourself from the fears, worries, doubts, and anxieties that someone else will judge you for being real and authentic. Even if you decide not to share it publicly, that's okay. You have that choice. You don't have to share your spiritual growth publicly. You don't have to bring meditation or energy work into your business circles. You don't have to talk about your journey or how you got channeled or spoke to your angel or your higher self gave you this, or you got a message from God or any of that. If you don't want to, don't. If it doesn't feel right for you, if it doesn't feel right for your business. But please decide now and choose that you are still going to clear, heal, and resolve anything and everything in the unconscious that is sabotaging you, that is interfering with you being your most magnificent best. And that includes any and all fears, worries, or doubts that someone's going to be upset by you being the most magnificent, brilliant expression of you. That includes clearing, healing, and resolving all of the fears, the worries, the doubts, the disbeliefs, the concerns that you could be rejected. Because that's what it is, fear of being rejected, fear of being abandoned by your boss, your colleagues, your friends, your community, just because you became more of the magnificence of you. Listen, I want to share something else on this. When I first moved to Maui, and some of you know my story, some of you don't, I moved to Maui. I don't want to go into my whole story, but I really moved to Maui to try to find love. I wanted to not love, romantic love. I was trying to find God, but to me, God was love. I can tell you God is love, but God is so much more than love. We think love is like the ultimate. When we're in a state of pain and suffering, we're just looking for love, like someone to love us. And it wasn't romantic love I was looking for. I was looking for God's love. Anyway, when I moved to Maui and, the first version or the first step of enlightened, that was just the beginning back then, right? But I started to realize like, this is a dream. We're in a dream. This is God's dream. The physical world that appears to be real is all energy, vibration, light, and sound, appearing solid. Maybe you're hearing it for the first time from me now. Congratulations on level 1 enlightenment, if you get that. But in any case, when I started having that awareness, I started saying to some of my friends, yeah, I've been enlightened. Jesus said it right. We're all God. We're all gods and bodies. I had a friend, her name was Faith. And I can say her first name because there's a gazillion Faiths out there and I don't know her anymore. And she doesn't know me. And it could be anyone in the world. But interestingly, that was her name. And she could not be friends with me anymore. She told me literally, I cannot be your friend anymore. And she was into all the Abraham Hicks, all the woo-woo stuff. She was into it. Well, I thought we were on the journey together. So when I shared it with her, I had no fear whatsoever. By the way, by the time I got to Maui, I was already rejected and ridiculed by my then husband, who was becoming my ex-husband. I was already ridiculed and judged by friends who had thought I was crazy. I was already ridiculed and judged by my family, my natal family. So, okay, maybe it was a little easier for me by that point, but she was a friend I knew, I loved, I trusted her. I thought that she was going to be excited to hear this and could relate to it. And in that moment, she decided she was not going to be my friend. She could not handle that. I didn't even understand it. I was like, I couldn't even believe that's how she felt. But I was on such an accelerated journey. It wasn't that it wasn't a great loss. It's just that there were so many things going so fast for me that it was a mere blip. And all I can tell you is all new friends came in after that. All new friends who were into it, who were also playing with energy, who were also interested in consciousness, who were also developing their psychic gifts, who were also developing their talents as animal communicators, who were also starting businesses as solopreneurs. So the loss of one opened up the space for the gain of many more. And I know you guys know this stuff. When one door closes, another huge door opens. I had all new people come into my life. I started a whole new business. I started a whole new career after that. So this is just to say that if the divine wants to birth through you, allow it. And if there is an inner calling to share about that in your business, in your community, allow it. And if it doesn't feel okay, then don't. It's okay. But just do clear the fear that keeps you stuck in the spiritual closet, hiding out, worried that someone, anyone will judge you, condemn you, shame you, ridicule you, burn you at the stake. By the way, that's called the witch wound. I'm sure many of you have heard about that. Those have to be cleared. You don't need to carry those around. Those are energetic burdens and debris in your field, your energy field, and you don't need that. And that only interferes with you being the most magnificent, fabulous, beautiful, phenomenal expression of you. Now, some of you will say, well, I don't really know how to clear it, right? Because you can't just shift that stuff with just mindset shifting alone. Like hearing this is hopefully helping, because this is mindset shifting to some degree, taking on new awareness about it, new belief about it, new perspective, realizing higher truth about it. But really, to really clear that stuff, that's the deep energy work, so that none of that stuff is in your field anymore, your energy field. And your energy field is 55 feet in diameter, larger than a house. I mean, huge. You're a huge being. So allow yourself to make space by letting that be removed from your field, because it's no longer serving you. Not part of your most benevolent best, right? I hope this has been helpful to you. I love this conversation because I've met so many people over the years, so many people, especially in the entrepreneurial space and solopreneur light leaders who are doing amazing, fabulous work in the world and still barely touching on the magnificence, the incredible gifts that they have access to because they're busy hiding in the spiritual closet. And that's a free will choice, to hold on to the fears and the worries, the concerns, the doubts, and the disbeliefs. It's a choice to hold on to that, thinking that someone else will judge you or think you're weird or call you woo-woo or crazy or insane. And I'm not saying that stuff doesn't happen. I'm just saying on the other side of that, there's something way better. So I hope this has been helpful for you. And welcome to my world if you decide to move through it, because I will tell you, I will guarantee you that every time you clear, heal, and resolve something in the unconscious or in your energy field that is holding you back or limiting you, what opens up in and through you, what starts to come through, is so much better. And you know what? Your clients and your students, your community, they're going to benefit too. Because when you clear, heal, and resolve something in your unconscious or in your energy field that's been holding you back, what comes through that's so much better is the authentic expression of you, the divine, the infinite, and more of your gifts, talents, and abilities that make you so magnificent in the first place, and that allow you to help serve, support, and assist others in such better ways too. And then you are in awe of your own self. That's the effect of it all. You start being in awe of your own self. You're like, oh my God, this is so good. I don't even know where that came from. Oh my God, this is so amazing. Where did that come from? Well, it came from the divinity within you that's working through you because you made space for it. Right? So good. And you want to know what it really is too? Freedom. Freedom. Healing, energy work is freedom. Energy work is liberation. Because when we clear, heal, and resolve these densities, these unconscious patterns, these stuck beliefs, these fears, these worries, these doubts, etc., we free ourselves up in ways that we did not even realize was possible for us. We become more of the richness, the fullness of who we are, and then we bring that forward into the world to help others. And because it's limitless, truly limitless, it just keeps expanding in and through us. And that is what Ascension is. That is what the new paradigm is. It is about bringing the divine into this physical world and allowing it. I call it it because it's beyond gender, right? Allowing it to manifest and materialize in physicality in this world. Something brand new. So much better for everyone, for the good of all. All right, you guys. I'm going to sign off there. I hope this has been helpful to you. I'm sending you so much love. I'm wishing you your most benevolent best today and always. And keep being that most magnificent, fabulous, fantastic expression of you, bringing through all the brilliance that you are uniquely here to bring forward. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, farewell for now. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for listening today. If you loved the show and if you benefited in any way, if it helped you to up-level or expand your consciousness, if you gained any new insights or ideas, if it made you think or become more aware, or if there were some strategies or intuition that you may have benefited from in any way, would you please do me 2 easy and simple favors? First, if you would be willing to leave a review, it would mean the world to me. I'd be so grateful. And second, if you're willing to share this show with anyone else who would benefit, you can either post it on your social media or just email it to someone and share it with another person or any other people. It would be so awesome. This kind of thing is so helpful in expanding consciousness on the planet and helping others to benefit from this kind of teaching, which just simply isn't generally readily available in the mainstream. So sharing it really helps others benefit and helps our planet evolve and awaken. Plus, expressing gratitude and generosity in this way will also expand your capacity to give and receive even more. Either way, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for participating and for sharing, and overall, just for being the magnificent, the spectacular, the brilliant, the fabulous, the wonderful you that you truly are, and for allowing yourself to be the very best version of you today and every day. All my love and gratitude to you.